This is the Bears Barroom Radio Network, and the following program is recorded live and intended for all audiences.
5 minutes to go, first quarter. He brings Cohen now to his right side. Left side, you've got Gabriel and a couple of tight ends. Robinson to the right side. Snap. And now a little pitch up front. Here's Clay Burton in for the touchdown. The fake. There's the ball deception, Tom. Little flip in front. Shovel it. Burton a touchdown. Touchdown Bears. Second and 15 from the 8. Snap is back. Good push up the middle. It starts to close. Wilson goes down just near the goal line. That pocket started to close slowly but surely, and Eddie Goldman finishes the job. Sacks Russell Wilson. Second sack tonight by the Bears defense. It is 3rd and 22. Snap back. Trubisky stands in the pocket, launches deep, going for Allen Robinson, but is intercepted by Griffin. He's hit from behind. Robinson was, rather, after the interception by Griffin. And Robinson right, 1st and 10, quick fake and a throw, passes tipped, diving interception by the Seahawks. Griffin up with it a second time. 3rd and 17 from midfield. In the gun, 17 on the play clock. The snap is back. Big push by Roy Robb again. Pocket starts to close. Wilson in trouble. Ball comes out at the 40-yard line. They get to him again. He is being cornered in the pocket, unable to get out, and the Bears defense to a standing ovation here at Soldier Field. Come up with a big play on 3rd and long. Here's Dixon's spot, Janikowski's left leg. It has the distance. Does it have the direction? It does, and the Seahawks squeeze 3 out of this first half with no time remaining. 56-yard field goal. It's 10-3 Bears. Bunch set to the left side. Trubisky fakes, rolls, throwing into the end zone. Catch is made. Anthony Miller! Touchdown! Touchdown Bears! They're up 16-3 on the Seahawks. 45 seconds into the fourth quarter. 19-yard line on the shotgun. Pressure to the end zone. Right back is out. Pressure to the end zone. Right back is out. Pressure to the end zone. Right corner. Pressure to the end zone. Right corner. And the catch. Right corner. And the catch is made by Lockett. Deep right corner of the end zone on Kyle Fuller. Not too different from the Green Bay throw last week to Geronimo Allison on Fuller at Lambeau. And it's 17-9 Bears. Eddie Jackson back deep. Empty spread. Right to left. Snap back. Here's the throw. And it's sitting out and picking up. Amukamara 40. Amukamara 30. To the 20. Inside cut on Russell Wilson. Fire! End zone. Pick 6. Goodbye, Prince Amukamara. Blitz is on. Pressure. It's picked up. And Wilson hit from behind. Ball is stripped on the sack by Trevathan. Forced fumble pile up at the 40-yard line. A vicious defense tonight has turned over the Seahawks. Fumble recovery Bears on the sack. 6th sack tonight. 3rd and goal to 2. Wilson staring at Marshall. Still looking, but he throws instead to the seam, and the touchdown by Disley. On a throw to the end zone, a 2-yard toss with 14 seconds to go. That tightens it up to 24-16.
Cheers, Bears fans! This is Bears on Tap, and the Chicago Bears finally get their first win of the season at Soldier Field, 24-17 against the Seattle Seahawks. But boy, oh boy, were there times where things just didn't look like they were going to go in our favor. But it was the Chicago Bears defense with a dominating performance, looking like the 85 Super Bowl Bears defense. The offense, not so good. We're going to get into all the details with Bears draft analyst Danny Shimon, and we hope to get Matt Nagy's press conference and Mitch Trubisky as well. Welcome, Danny. What'd you think of this football game?
Hey, Aldo. How's everyone doing tonight? Hey, a win is a win. We'll take it. Like you said, the defense came out, and they were ferocious from the start. Khalil Mack once again making his impact, his presence felt. But unfortunately, the offense left us, wanting some more. And the fact that it was a one-score game at halftime really had me concerned. Had me having some flashbacks to last week's Packers game. And, there were some moments in that second half where we got a little bit tight there. But, again, the defense comes up big. And hey, a win is a win. We'll take it. The beer tastes better. The chips are crunchier. The nacho cheese is even cheesier. Things are great. Bears are 1-1, and we're off to Phoenix, off to Arizona, to try and get that second win.
Yeah, we'll be talking about all that. But Nagy's at the podium now. Let's listen in and see what he's got to say.
So those are hard. Those are difficult. And then the other one was a shot downfield, and the kid made a hell of a play. Again, the thing that we're learning in this process is that we're on this next play mentality. And so I'm really proud with how he handled himself from play one until the end of that fourth quarter. Every time after any play, good or bad, on that series or after the series, he was phenomenal. I mean, his attitude was great. He didn't worry about anything. And so that's growth right there. And that makes me happy to know that that he understands that, hey, there's going to be interceptions. But at least we're doing this thing and we're attacking, we're stretching, and let's make them make a good play. And more so than not, we'll make better plays.
Did you attempt to do any less in the second half because of where you were and because of his shaky second quarter?
No, I don't care at all about what happened. I'll never care about what he did. I don't care if he threw 4 picks in the first half. I'm not going to change. I'm going to have ultimate trust in him and continuing to lead this offense. And so I've told him that from the start, and so I'll never back away from that. And so what I'll do is I'll try to protect him at times in certain ways, but he won't know when I'm protecting him. It'll be by me doing it my own way. But he's going to cut it loose, and if he starts getting into a shell, then we all get into a shell.
Defense came up big. It seemed like when you needed it most. After the 2 giveaways in the first half, 3 and outs, and then 2 straight turnovers, takeaways in the second half. What was the key to the whole defense?
So I thought it was pretty neat that after sudden change with 2 interceptions, we got 2 3 and outs by the defense. That's awesome, and so that's there's not a lot of teams in the NFL that have, I think, that mentality and that of where our defense is playing right now. The last 2 games, now we had the difficulties there in the third and fourth quarter against Green Bay, but for the most part right now our defense is playing fast. They're flying around, and so they helped us out offensively. They helped the offense out, and there's going to be times where the offense is going to help the defense out. So that's just the way it goes. In the end, the only thing that matters is that W. That's it.
What was the key? What was the key to executing the shovel pass touchdown?
To read the defense and pick either option A or B. I mean, there's a couple options on that, and so for him, he made a great decision with that. And it's a play that we have in our offense. We have different ways to do it and to get to it, and so it was neat to see that come to fruition.
But he can give it to Tariq if he feels.
Maybe. I can't tell you everything. Yeah, so it was exciting to see his focus the whole week of practice, and then to see him pregame here and just kind of walk by him and see how he's feeling. And that he was completely focused and ready to go. The lights were not too bright for him, and I think you saw that he was out there running around, flying around, making tackles, and that's what we want from him.
What did you learn about the guys this week? How they reacted?
Well, they reacted really well to a tough loss, one that stung for so many reasons. But we were able to, as a group, put it aside. And so there's that balance of, myself as a coach teaching them that this is going to happen. But the message to them before the game was it's time to stop barking. It's time to start biting. And really, I mean that. The talk is cheap. Let's go out and let's produce and let's play and let's finish. Let's play. We have it there. Remember last week I told you we knew it was there to reach for. We could grab it. I felt like that our team got better today, and now we need to use this as a building block for next week.
What was your view of what they did to your running game tonight?
Well, they did some good things. They were doing some things personnel wise, and so. But I think for the most part for us, some of our mentality of it was we wanted to try to stay a little bit aggressive and get some of the run game going through the pass game if it was some shorter things, and then just kind of let the run game take over in the third and fourth quarter. Now it didn't naturally happen that way, but sometimes that's what you hope happens.
Matt, what did you like about the short passing game in the second half particularly?
Well, Mitch was efficient. I don't know what his final numbers were. I think he was either 9 for 10 or 12 of 14. So he was completing the ball, and then some of those are like the run game. It continues to keep the clock going, and then you pick and choose your shots. You want to be calculated with that. But anytime you have efficient passing, and whenever your completion percentage is high, you're doing something right. And then you just hope that within those, you're able to have some shots downfield and get some chunks as well.
Given your path to this point, personally, what does this win mean to you, your first win as a head coach?
It feels good. It's for me, though, it's really more about, and I mean this, it's just more about us. And it's just so neat to start here from my first team meeting with this team and meeting all the guys and seeing us grow. And so I'm just really looking forward to the future of this team, and I'm anxious to see how we
Okay, Danny, you hear anything there in Matt Nagy's press conference that really stuck out at you?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that really caught me, and he stole some of my thunder. I was going to delve into this here during this post game here, but he mentioned that he was not afraid of letting Trubisky throw, and he has ways of protecting him. And one of my keynotes here I put down in that third quarter, the third drive, that's when he started going with the short dump offs here and there, the short bubble screens and smoke screens to the receivers, doing some jet sweeps with Taylor Gabriel. He started getting Trubisky more of in a rhythm, started more of an intermediate passing game as opposed to letting him throw downfield. So I think that was one case right there where I noted right away that he is protecting Trubisky from himself. And in terms of, I want to call BS here because in terms of he's not afraid to allow Trubisky to throw. He should have 3 interceptions in that first half. Yeah. That one throw, I don't know what he was looking at. He had one guy in the end zone, in the corner of the end zone, and he had 2, possibly I think 3 Seahawks in that area. That should have been his 3rd interception. That loses points. So big time. Some big time issues I had here with Mitchell and his pocket presence, his awareness in the pocket, and then reading and scanning downfield and making a proper throw. So that, and then also in terms of the running game, they did a good job. I think Coach Nagy did a good job of stopping the running game. I mean, Jordan Howard only had 14 carries, and some of the play calling on 3rd and 1, he was going with the option play for just give the ball to Jordan Howard, have him run up the backside of Kyle Long and Bobby Massey, who were getting movement at the point of contact, snap in and snap out. I mean, come on. These guys were playing with 3 linebackers who are not their normal starters. Okay, one guy will just sign off the street, and he's probably going to be in prison probably in a week or 2. I mean, you have to pound the rock. You have Jordan Howard. He is a viable top 5 running back in this league. You got to give him the ball. You got to get him lathered up, and then you break Trubisky in. Then you start allowing him to make some of those shorter passes and build that confidence up. But man, I have like I said, the win is great. I'm not complaining about the win. We'll take it, but there are some concerns here moving on down. And again with Trubisky, people say he looks scared or he looks timid. I just think he's thinking too much out there. Remember, this playbook is a vast, huge playbook. It just looks like he's just not clicking it on all cylinders, and it looks like he's timid. It looks like he's nervous. But I just think he's thinking too much, and I think that's Nagy pointed out there. That's how he protects him. He gives him these short dump offs here and there. Nothing critical, nothing dangerous downfield. And I think that's how he protects him, gets him in a rhythm, gets his confidence going, and then he starts progressing throughout the game. But yeah, there's some areas of concern here offensively. Defensively, I mean, what can you say? Khalil Mack once again, all over the field in that first half. A little bit concerning. He is starting to get tired in the second half, and they are doing, to his credit, they were chipping him with a tight end who was then releasing in the pattern, and then obviously then the offensive linemen and even running backs were chipping him on their way out of the backfield as well. So, and I think towards the end of the middle end of the fourth quarter, you saw there's a shot of him on the sideline, just gasping for air, trying to catch his breath. So I think he'll just continue to get better as he gets into better and better game shape. But man, oh man, I mean, we haven't had a presence on defense for a long time. Yeah, a guy who just takes over the game.
Not that kind of presence. I mean, Urlacher had his own special kind of presence, but this guy's presence is really, I mean, the epitome of monsters of the Midway. This guy is emblematic of the 1985 Bears all by himself. He is providing that kind of ferocious, scary pass rush that is going to scare the bejesus out of quarterbacks. Now, I want to ask you a question. Before we let's stay on the offense here for a little while, and then we'll tackle the defense in the second side of the show. I asked folks in the chat room how they would grade Matt Nagy's offensive play calling, with A being great, B being good, C being flawed, D being not too good, and F being bring back Dow Loggins. And Matt Brown 9 says a B minus for Nagy. Air Jer says a C. Shy Bear Plus says B. Kills me. He called a pass after the Danny Trevathan sack fumble recovery. Howard, 14 runs. Kills me. Get him to 20, just like you were saying. DK Voss says C. Steven Zimmerman says C. Howard had only 14 carries. Give me a break. This game is in the bag if he gets 25 plus. And I totally agree with everybody who was saying C in that area. That was the biggest problem with Matt Nagy's play calling, is that he just would not rely on his money power back. This game could have been in the bag much earlier if he would have used Jordan Howard in a manner that traditionally football teams do when they have a lead. And unfortunately, what's happening in the league is everybody is pass happy. There was an article in footballperspective.com that yesterday was a record-breaking day in NFL history for most passes thrown. We are seeing more passes being thrown in the NFL than we ever have in the history of the game. And it's just, if things continue the way they are, we're going to have record-breaking passing numbers. It's unbelievable. And so I don't think Matt Nagy is ever going to change. He's on this pass-happy bandwagon regardless of who he has on the team, whether he's got a novice quarterback in Mitch Trubisky, because clearly that's what he is. He's a novice quarterback. He's playing like a guy who should be playing his senior year in college football, in my mind. So it doesn't matter that Nagy has this young quarterback. He's just going to continue to pass the ball. He's going to use the pass as a form of the short run, and he's going to overlook Jordan Howard, who is the type of back who can easily give you 20, 25 carries a game, eat up the clock, and get you clear victories. Now, I will ask you, grade Matt Nagy's play calling for this Monday night game against the Seattle Seahawks.
I agree with the consensus there. I got to say a C. It's like I said, his first drives, both the last week and this week, very good. They both obviously lead to touchdowns. So that's a great start. Innovative goal line. The one when they scored on today, where it's a play right out of the Kansas City Chiefs playbook. Where basically they pull the linebackers in with their RPO. Everybody follows Tariq Cohen and Trubisky, and then lo and behold, here comes Trey Burns, sneaks right up in the middle, the shovel pass in for a touchdown. Great play call. Totally caught the inexperienced linebackers off the mark there, and then get a touchdown. So both games, his first 15 scripted plays lead to a touchdown. But then, like you said, 3rd and 1. I think it was in the first or second quarter. 3rd and 1, and he goes with an option play to Jordan Howard, which, by the way, he got the first down. That was a bad challenge. A bad spot. He should have challenged. He didn't. Right. Yep. Howard got the first down anyway on a 4th down. But come on, give the ball to Howard. Let him run up. Like I said, the backside of Long and Massey, who are getting moving. Even Cody Whitehair was getting moving at the point of contact. You were pretty much manhandling that the defensive front of the Seahawks, who came in as noted, they were shorthanded. So again, you got the lead. When they went up 17-3, and then right away, the Seahawks get back in the game, and then lo and behold, he's back there throwing the ball again. Let's pound the ball. Let's pound the rock. Even if you want to do the extension of the running game through the passing game with these short passes, that's fine. But you can't forget about Jordan Howard. You got to give him the ball. This guy only had 14 carries. The team as a whole only had 27 carries. I figured, with the way the Seahawks came in, how shorthanded they were, how, like I said, their linebackers were just a makeshift unit tonight. That the Bears were going to have as a team minimum of 35 rushing attempts, minimum, at least get into the 40s. He had 27 as a team. Howard only had 14 carries. Again, you're right. The NFL is pass happy. The short passing game is now being considered part of the extension to the run game. But when you have a young quarterback that you're trying to build confidence in, a guy that obviously doesn't look like he's fully, doesn't fully grasp the offense just yet, you got to ease him in a strong running back. A 1-2 punch like Cohen and Howard. I mean, you got to take advantage of that. So, will he ever change? I don't think so. I mean, this is who he is. This is he came from the Andy Reid coaching tree, and Reid is notorious for using the short passing game as part of his the extension to his run game. And just look at what the Chiefs have been doing lately with both last season and this season. So they have Kareem Hunt. There's games where you see Kareem Hunt have 15, 18 carries in a game. You rarely see him with the 25 or more carries. Hunt, that is. So again, is he going to change? No. Is his play calling flawed? I believe it is, but I don't think he thinks it is. So this is something who's going to have to get used to it.
Yeah, we definitely are. Yeah, because you're right. He's not going to change. I mean, even if Trubisky continues to fail, I mean, he just said it there in the press conference. I have confidence in the guy. I'm going to continue to put him in there. So
right.
I'm going to continue.
I mean, you expect him to say that. He's not going to bash him, but he did pull him aside. I believe after the Anthony Miller touchdown pass, he did pull him aside and he talked to him on the sideline. So I don't know what he was telling him, or maybe he noticed something with Trubisky and was saying, keep your head up, good job, blah, blah, blah. But he did pull him aside and he was talking to him. So you need your quarterback and head coach, especially play caller, to be on that same level, to be on the same wavelength. So if he sees Trubisky struggling, if he sees Trubisky's having issues, it's his job to get him out of that funk. And like I said, that's how I noticed he did that in the third quarter on that third drive. He started with that short passing game and got him in a bit of a rhythm, got his confidence up a little bit, and then lo and behold, that led to a touchdown pass to Anthony Miller.
Friend of Bears Bar Room Radio, Mark Grody, on the radio broadcast, WBBM Radio, said that it was a special moment between Nagy and Trubisky. That huddle between the two of them where Nagy was talking into his ear happened a few feet away from Grody. And Grody said, I don't know what was said, but clearly that was kind of an emotional moment, a great quarterback moment. It was a moment of a coach telling his quarterback, I believe in you. I knew this was going to happen kind of moment. So, yeah, it was good. And when you kind of take a more macro look at things and you look at the fact that, yeah, this kid is he's green. He's a college quarterback and playing in a pro game. And so you're going to have moments like this where he's just not going to make the proper reads. As you've been saying week after week, he has problems processing. He has problems, keeping his eyes down the field. He's quick to leave the huddle and so forth. He seems a little wary of the pass rush. He sometimes throws off his back feet. All those things hopefully will be corrected, but it's just not going to happen overnight.
And you could see today that he was cognizant of staying in the huddle. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, in the pocket. There are a couple of times he did run, and he pretty much, his time was running out, and he had to elude the pass rusher and get up. And I think for most part he did well and getting out and getting yardage, and a couple times he got a first down. But, that pass right before the end of the half where he threw in triple coverage, that to me was Trubisky saying, all right, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to make a play, I'm going to make a throw. That Trey Burton play from last week is probably in the back of his mind there somewhere saying, all right, I'm going to try and get this ball in there. Because remember, last week he was defending himself in the press conference on Wednesday saying, hey, 3 points is better than a turnover.
Right.
But yet here you're throwing it into a triple coverage. What are you doing? So I'm thinking that is in the back of his mind there. He's thinking about it. Yeah. And I think that's what that special moment there was between him and Nagy. Nagy just trying to pump him up, get him up. Hey, touchdown pass, good job. You persevered through this rough stretch here in the game, and now your team's up 17-3. So I think that's where that comes in there. That special relationship, trying to get his quarterback. And again, I think Nagy saw this going into the half, and he probably saw that pass going into the half and said, all right, let me try and get this guy, squared away. Let's go with the short passing game here, get him on rhythm, get some confidence going, and then we'll see how it goes from there. And that's exactly what happened. Got him going, got the touchdown pass to my boy Anthony Miller. I tweeted I was like a proud papa there. My boy getting his first touchdown pass there. So, but yeah, so then the Bears went up there and let the defense then take over. But yeah, so Trubisky, it's gonna be, and that's one of the big knocks on him coming out of college. Remember, although we had this conversation, was this kid only had 12 starts in college. Yeah, he had a pretty good junior year in North Carolina, but you know what? 12 starts doesn't make he doesn't see all this. A lot of this stuff he should have seen or should have gone through as a sophomore, possibly as a freshman in college. Definitely as a sophomore, definitely as a junior. But he's just processing. He's getting into becoming an NFL quarterback. It's going to take time. Again, my concerns are from the pocket. Reading, going through his progressions. Footwork. I mean, that he had Allen Robinson down on that first Shaq Griffin interception. He had Allen Robinson had a step on the corner. All he has to do is just lead him, and that's a touchdown right there for Allen Robinson. But what happens is his footwork again is sloppy from the corner, doesn't follow through. Sloppy from the pocket, doesn't follow through on his motion. Short arms the ball, and the ball comes up short. And Griffin makes a great interception on the ball. So, but if he goes through his full motion there, follows through, the ball is on target, leads Allen Robinson. That's a long touchdown right there. So
it definitely does. Who was your player of the game offensively? I ran a poll on Twitter and I put in Allen Robinson, and then as the second choice I put in a question mark because, frankly, at least statistically, there wasn't any other person on the roster that statistically deserved a player of the game honors, and there could be some people on the offensive line.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah,
Kyle Long is my offensive player of the game. He was dominant today. I did see him get up kind of gingerly at one point after a play, so I'm not sure if he got shaken up or it was just just a little bit of a stinger or whatnot. But man, he was back. I mean, and these 2 games, he's been the Kyle Long that we know and love as an All-Pro guard. So the key with him is just keep him healthy, man. If this guy stays healthy, he's going to be back to being that All-Pro that we know. He was, as far as a pass blocker, he was stonewalling the pass rush, and getting out in front, leading, in terms of the run game. He was out there pancaking, guys out there. So, and once again, he was feisty. And when Kyle Long is feisty, he's in the game. He feels good. He was at one point, I think I saw him and Earl Thomas kind of exchanging pleasantries there, a little pushing back and forth. He went and grabbed the ball from a defensive lineman who was down the pile there, and I'm not sure what that was all about. But obviously he was imposing his will out there. So when Kyle Long is playing, guys, he's one of the better guards in football. And he, to me today, besides Robinson, who had the targets and the catches, Kyle Long to me was dominant.
What else about this offense either disappointed you on this Monday night or stood out to you in a positive way?
Well, the positive obviously is Kyle Long and the play of the offense. Bobby Massey, he's been playing well. He was beat on that one sack, but I think that guy was offsides. I mean, that guy had a good step to jump off of him. So
yes, he was.
So I think the interior of Whitehair, Long, and Massey had pretty good game. Leno was okay. Kush got pushed around a couple times, so we'll still. But overall, I think the offensive line played well today. Again, the Seahawks were a little banged up defensively, so that could explain that. In terms of disappointment, again, the underutilization of Jordan Howard, especially when you had the lead. Okay, and you can just keep milking that clock, giving your defense some time to rest there. I think that was a disappointment for me. And again, the pocket awareness or lack thereof of Trubisky and his inability to clean up some of his footwork in the pocket was really, really disappointing. Like I said earlier, I tweeted out, his mental processing right now is really not good. So let's leave it at that right now. So again, it could be just because he's overwhelmed with this playbook. Like I said, it's a huge playbook, and he just doesn't seem like it's just a natural out there for him. He's like thinking a lot. He's got things in the back of his mind. So So I think offensively, and this I've been saying this since the offseason, and although you'll back me up on this, offensively, this is going to be a work in progress. This team is not going to be as good offensively through the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season as I expect them to be week 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so on and so forth. So it's going to be a work in progress. We just got to hope that they don't make a lot of mistakes and they don't put the defense in bad positions and just keep grinding away, keep getting those points, and allowing Khalil Mack and company to play with the lead, and then just pin their ears back and go and get the passer.
Sean Ellis asked thoughts on Eric Kush.
Yeah, Kush. Overall, he didn't have a horrible game, but there were times where he was just blown back into the backfield. A couple times I saw him try to pass protect, and he was just literally just ripped and pulled down onto the ground. So I got to go back and just watch the tape again. But just a couple of plays there just caught my eye where he was beaten soundly in both the passing as a pass protector and as a run blocker. So not a horrible game, not an F grade or anything like that. But just of the 5, I think he was the least effective today.
Quentin Nelson would have played much better, right? Just kidding.
Well, that's another guy I wanted to talk about was Roquan Smith and the difference he made, but I'll save that for when we get to the defense.
Well, we're going to get to the defense right now. I ran a poll on Twitter, and over 300 votes. My question was, who was the defensive player of the game? And the 3 choices were Danny Trevathan, Khalil Mack, and Prince Amukamara. Khalil Mack won with 48%. I'm surprised he didn't get the majority. Prince Amukamara came in second with 37%. And Danny Trevathan only 15%, despite the fact that he had 2 of the team's 6 sacks and was a heck of a forced fumble and had a heck of a presence throughout. I would have given Mack the award, at which he won, but had Trevathan in as a close second. Your thoughts?
What did you notice about Trevathan today?
Well, he looked quicker than he did week 1, where he looked a step slower, and I think that had to do with an injury he may have suffered in the game. And I think he benefited from the fact that Roquan Smith was next to him.
Bingo. So what happened today was, how many times we sent on delayed blitzes? He was allowed to go up the middle, attack the A gap, because now he's got Vic Fangio now has Roquan Smith, who has the sideline speed to make up for anybody that comes out of the backfield. If a running back sneaks out or whatnot for a screen pass or a quick hitter, he's got a linebacker now who can go sideline to sideline, who can chase down receivers and running backs in the middle of the field, unlike Kwiatkowski. So I think I noticed that immediately when with Roquan Smith starting, I saw a more active Danny Trevathan, not only as a run stopper, but also in the pass rush. The Bears were getting pressure on Wilson with the front, four guys up front, and all of a sudden here comes Trevathan just blitzing on delayed blitzes. So I think part of it is because, like you said, he's a bit healthier now, a couple more weeks away from that injury he suffered during the preseason. But I think a big reason is because Roquan Smith's back there, and his sideline to sideline and his closing burst is what allows Vic Fangio to feel confident to allow Trevathan to go ahead and attack the quarterback. So, and you notice Roquan closing in on running backs and like tight ends and receivers in the middle of the field. His closing speed is outstanding, and he's not even probably 100% either from that tight hamstring. So on. But there were times also where I saw Trevathan telling Smith the play, what to do. So you can see he's still probably learning the defense as well. But once he gets fully acclimated, man, that's going to be fun linebacker groups. It's fun to watch them now. Imagine when they're all in football shape, healthy, and acclimated to this defense. That's going to be a fun 4 linebackers to watch.
This defense in its entirety is going to be fun to watch, although some disappointment again for the second week in a row with the play of Kyle Fuller. Tell me what you saw.
Again, he was in position to make the play, and I gave him a pass on last week's touchdown to Geronimo Allison. I thought, it's just a great throw by a great quarterback, perfect place.
And great coverage by Fuller.
And great coverage. He was there. But today, he was there again. All he has to do is turn his head. You turn your head, and then even if you turn your head and you're looking for the ball and you're reaching and you got the guy's arm, because you're playing the ball, the referees will give you the benefit of the doubt and not throw a flag on you. turn your head. I mean, he was right there. If he had turned his head, he could have probably intercepted that ball. But, again, in position to make the play, just doesn't turn his head, doesn't have the instinct to look for the ball and make a big play. And, I mean, this week, last week I gave him a pass. This week I can't. I mean, you can't allow that touchdown pass, especially when you pretty much had this guy blanketed. I mean, there was a small crease in which that ball could get through, and the ball got through.
And the fact that he's got the sideline and the end zone line working for him, so he's got him cornered. All he has to do is turn, look for the ball, and then physically you can make all the contact you want, drive the guy out of fucking bounds. Excuse my language. Right. We're not supposed to swear on this show. But, he just played that poorly, and it's disappointing because the guy seemed to be on a track where he wouldn't be making these mental errors. And for him to make those errors for a second week in a row, and clearly that the dropped interception last week, I consider that a mental error. He just, the receiver fell in front of him. He probably was paying too much attention to that and not following the ball into his hand. So I count that as a mental error. So for 2 weeks in a row, mental errors by Kyle Fuller. And you just can't have that from a cornerback who is making that kind of money and truly has all the tools to be a tier 1 or top of tier 2 cornerback.
Yeah, I mean, right now the top corner on this team is Prince Amukamara. I mean, he, and remember last year we were all saying, "Oh, Kyle Fuller is having a great year," but yet he was always one of the top 2 cornerbacks always thrown against. Right. So the teams were going away from Prince and they're attacking Kyle Fuller. It's happening again this season. Fuller makes more money than Prince, but you know what? They are staying away from Prince, and they are attacking Kyle Fuller. And 2 weeks in a row, he's given up big plays, big touchdowns. When he could have easily made the play. So again, he was a guy that I understand why they paid him. I was kind of hesitant to pay him. But I think the fact that the Packers came in and the fact that you would lose him, to a young guy, first-round draft pick, to a rival, I think they even made the deal more enticing to match. So he's here to stay. Again, he's in position to make plays. He just needs to start making those plays now.
He really does. So I thought last week Barflies were a little tough on Prince Amukamara's performance. I didn't think it was that bad. The second time I went and looked at his performance, it wasn't great, but that had a lot to do with the fact that, again, it was Aaron Rodgers. Again, it was a defense that was tiring because the offense had them out there on the field so much. So
plus, he suffered a concussion during the game, I believe it was, or he was at least taken off because to be tested for a concussion. So he did get nicked up a little bit in the game. And again, Prince, with his whole career, his thing has been staying healthy, staying on the field. Right. And the funny thing is because I think this was his first interception in 3 to 4 years. I think it was
40 games.
40 games. So, his first interception, and guess it's a pick six. So,
he said he's going to get 10. So,
nine more to go.
Yeah. So and he said that before Khalil Mack was on the team. So maybe he'll get 14. That is awesome. All right. Tell me more about this defense. Let's go up front with the play of Akeem Hicks and who else did you like on the defensive line?
Well, the line today, I mean, Eddie Goldman had a sack, but again, just going back to Khalil Mack, even when he doesn't get a sack or a tackle for loss, whatnot, his presence is felt. So that on that Eddie Goldman sack, it was Mack coming in from the outside, that's right, and also Floyd from the other opposite side, corralling Russell Wilson, making him step up into the pocket right into the arms of Eddie Goldman. So Goldman had a good game, I think. I saw Bullard flash a couple times there. I think he picked up a holding call, which negated a big game by the Seahawks. So where Robertson Harris made his presence felt as well. Didn't get into this stat box score that much, but he was there. He had his presence felt. Aaron Lynch had a sack today and 2 sacks, 2 tackles, I should say. There was one play. I'm like, what are you doing? It looked like he just half-assed his pass rush. Got to go back and take a look at that play. But he had a sack today, and I think he there were a couple times we made some nice plays. There was one play where there was a dump-off screen pass to, I believe it was Rashard Penny, or I think it was Mike Davis, and the running back, and he tried to cut it back inside, and he was able to shed his blocker and go back and tackle the running back. So that he had made a couple good plays. But as a whole, I mean, once you have Mac, causing havoc, everyone else is gonna benefit from him. And Akeem Hicks, again, he was a presence. He made a nice play, a tackle for loss, where he did a nice swing move to get right up past the guard and into the backfield. So I think overall, the obviously the defense played one hell of a game. The defensive line, I'd say, or defensive front had, I'd say, if I had to give them a grade, right now I'd say A-, B+. Just going off of what I saw off the TV film.
You think this team has the chance to break the all-time record for sacks in a season, which I believe is held by the Chicago Bears with 74, I think it is, somewhere in the 70s last time I looked. So you think that it's a possibility? Because I'm beginning to think that it is, particularly if Leonard Floyd can get his game going.
Well, that's the thing, because I'm trying to think, besides Mac, right? Because, I mean, if you notice, second half, Mac is pretty much shut down in terms of sacks and pressures, because they started chipping them. The tight ends would chip them, then release into the route pattern. Running backs were chipping them, and then of course, and then you get to the offensive lineman. So obviously, Floyd is playing with that that club on his hand, and that's not easy for him. Right? He's a guy who relies on his quickness. He's going to have to be able to beat guys with speed, not only with speed, but also get hands off of him. And just using one hand right now, that's going to limit him big time. Can they get the record for sacks? Man, I mean, so they had 6 this week, and they had, 4 or 5 last week? I forgot how much they had last week.
They had 4 last week, 6 this week, so that's 10. And according to somebody, who is it, Scar, the Bears lead the NFL in sacks right now.
Man, I don't know. That's a lofty number. I would say no, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise, especially if he starts using the linebackers now. If Fangio starts using linebackers like Trevathan today and Roquan Smith to blitz,
then
then you're talking about yeah. Then you got a chance there. And assuming Mac does his average 10.5 sacks, that he's been getting the last couple of seasons. You're gonna have to the other guys obviously pick up the slack. So. 50, was it 55 or 60 you said? What was the record set?
74. It's been confirmed by Steven Zimmerman, 74 in the 1984 Chicago Bears.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to just say no.
All
but
right.
I'll be rooting for him to get it, but I'm just saying no.
I'm going to go out there and say that they're going to get 77 sacks. And
wow.
Anyone out there in Bears barroom world, any of the barflies, if you correctly guess how many sacks, you got to send me an email at, my email is aldo@bearsbarroom.com. If you correctly guess the amount of sacks that the Chicago Bears will have for this season, I will send you a T-shirt from our Bears Barroom swag shop. So
you'd say sacks, not sex, right?
Sacks.
Okay.
SACK.
Because if it's sex, it's a lot more than 70 something, whatever.
Sacks. Quarterback sacks. Okay. All right. What else about the defense caught your eye today?
I think the safeties redeemed themselves. For in terms of Eddie Jackson made a couple of nice plays.
Yes, he did.
And in pass coverage. Of course,
right.
Yeah. Of course, he was the one who dove at or tried to make a play on the Cobb touchdown last week. So I think he played well today. Amos came downhill and did what he does best, and that's secure tackles and stuff to run. So I think the safeties played better today. Obviously, we talked about the front four. Cornerbacks, Kyle Fuller again was there, just got to make the play. And Bryce Callahan had, quietly is having a pretty good season so far. First 2 games, he's tough for a small statute player. I mean, he comes in there, throws his head in there, and he'll go and make secure a tackle. So again, key with him too is just got to keep him healthy. So. And then I think Kevin Tolliver was active today, but I didn't see him out there, not even on special teams. So I might have to go back and see what he did today. But in terms of the secondary, I think they obviously played better today. They're not as challenged as they were last week with the likes of the Devontae Adams and Cobb and Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball. So, they're going to get better. I mean, defense is already, carrying this team, in my opinion. I think they're only going to get better as, like I said, Roquan Smith gets in better shape, learns the defense, and then Khalil Mack also gets into football shape. So, as long as they stay healthy, knock on wood, I think this defense is going to be, top 5, at the least, So, good things to come with the Bears defense. And of course, next week there's now, scuttlebutt that the Cardinals may go, with our friend there, the backup quarterback. Maybe, or might go with the rookie. So either way, I mean, I would love to see Michael Lennon. I mean, come on, could you see how many sacks you think this team was going to have with Michael Lennon back there as a statue?
So they're going to get 74 just against
just like 3 weeks.
Hey, we got a little clip of Mitch Trubisky at the podium. Let's see what he had to say after the game.
This week compared to last week, in terms of how you felt this game, same, better?
Feels amazing to win. I mean, this is what this game's all about. Last week didn't go our way. This week we pulled together as a team and we got it done. There's always going to be stuff we got to improve on. We know that, but you got to enjoy these W's, and we definitely did. We came together. We made the plays when we need to. Offense has got us to keep building. Defense is going to be special. We just got to have each other's back, and special teams is doing their thing as well. So we just got to bring the 3 phases together and continue to roll, and hopefully just get on the roll from here on out. But it feels really good to win.
You said last week you want to have a different mindset. Did you have a different mindset this week?
Just let loose, play free. My teammates and coach had my back all week. Just try not to put too much pressure on myself and just go out there, have fun, and enjoy it with the guys, and that's what I did tonight. So there's going to be stuff I'm going to look at, continue to build, and get better. But it was a lot of fun to be out there on Monday night. Appreciate all the fans that were great tonight. And like I said, defense played fantastic, so that's awesome for our team.
How do you feel about your pocket presence, your poise, your clock, the things you talked about improving?
Yeah, for sure. Still getting better. I feel like I was better at that this week, just staying in the pocket, getting the ball out quick. O-line did a fantastic job all night, giving me time when I needed it, and just finding those receivers. But they got a good scheme on the other side, and we just found ways to move the ball down the field, and we just got to keep improving and keep finding ways to score points and keep our defense off the field to give them a break because they've been playing so well. So just keep rolling and just keep growing within this offense is what we're trying to do. But I think I was better in the pocket tonight, and I'll go back and look at it and see what I can continue to improve on.
Worked so well in that second half score.
I think we were just methodical. Everything coach was calling, we were kind of just going down the field and staying out of 3rd and longs, just not beating ourselves with penalties or anything, just sticking together, executing the plays, going out and really mixing it up with the run and the pass and the play action and all that, and then going down and finishing in the red zone. So it all starts up front in the O-line. They were beating them up in the run game and giving me time in the pass game. So a lot of credit to those guys, and I think they played really good tonight. They played great for us.
You're the kind of guy that goes home and you'll be up all night thinking about plays that you could have done better or things you could do well, or are you able to turn this off when you get home?
A little bit of both. I mean, it all depends.
Yeah, great question. Are you able to turn it off when you go to bed? You know what? If I was in that press room, I would ask this question. I'm going to swear, everybody. So again, I apologize. I'm going to say, hi, Aldo Gandia from BearsBarroom.com. Hey, Mitch, you played relatively well in the first and fourth quarter, but you played like shit in the second and third quarter. Can you please tell us what was going on there? Because I need to understand what the hell is going on there.
The one thing I noticed about him is he's having trouble getting the ball in between the second and third levels of the defense. He's throwing a flat ball, meaning it's straight on the line. So the ball's being tipped, the ball's not dropping it into in between the 2 levels of the defense there. So I don't know if he's just trying to zing it in there, with arm strength, or does he not have confidence in his accuracy at this time? But yeah, I mean he was known for being an accurate quarterback coming out, and even last year he showed us some pretty good accuracy. And at times this year when he gets out of the pocket, I've mentioned he's pretty accurate. Like that throw Anthony Miller touchdown. was a pretty nice, accurate throw on the run, going to his left, hit Miller right on stride. But it just seems like he's throwing a flat ball, more arm as opposed to touch, and it's having trouble getting that in between the second and third levels of the defense.
What are your expectations for Mitch Trubisky in Week 3 at Arizona?
Well, that's a good question because, I know Arizona is 0-2, but, keep in mind, they got some playmakers on defense. They have, Chandler Jones rushing off the edge. Obviously, they still have the Patrick Peterson at cornerback. They have, Dean Buchanan now who's playing linebacker. So, they got some players on defense. So, in terms of what I'm expecting, you have a defense that has potential to be top 5, be a great defense. Just don't put them in positions, to put them in bad positions. Keep getting first downs. Go through your progressions, go through your reads. The coach is gonna, like you said today, the coach is gonna try to help him with his play calling. I wish the coach would allow him to hand the ball off to his running back a couple more times, but just be smart with the ball. If you see a play, go for it. Like they're saying today on a broadcast. By the way, the broadcast was horrible tonight. But anyway, I digress here. You just play, play free and easy. Like I said, he just seems like he's just too much on his mind right now. He's just thinking too much. He's got that glazed look at times. So go out there, just make the throws. You can make them. You have the athletic ability to make these throws. Just don't be deer in headlights. Look like you're not knowing what to do and throw a ball with 3 guys on your one guy into the corner of end zone when you're 5 yards away from a touchdown. So play to the strength of your team, and right now that strength is your defense, and in my opinion, the running game. Play to that strength. Again, that's going to be a lot of what the coaching staff calls for him, but try not to be try not to make those errant throws where like I said, forcing the ball and putting your defense into a bad spot, into giving up points and all that stuff. So it's going to be a process, right? It's a process. We've gone over this so many times. His lack of experience. I expect every week for him to get better. Was he better this game than he was last game? In my opinion, he was. Because remember last week in the second half, he was pretty much. In my opinion, he was lost. He did come out and he did put that drive together that led to the touchdown. I think I saw some growth there. Now, was that just the play calling that Nagy helping him get through the game? That's what I think. But also he had to go out there and make those plays, make those throws. So I think he was better this week. Obviously, the win helps. Every time you win, always the confidence of the whole team, boosts and goes up there. So just continue to make positive plays. Don't fall behind the chains. First and 13, first and 15. There was that one play where he had looks like it was I think 3rd and 3. If he had just gone up the middle, kept running straight, he would have had the first down. It appeared. Instead, he tried to cut it to the outside. And he got tackled for a 2-yard loss.
That hurt.
So it's stuff like that. Plays like that. That could have been a first down, a new set of series. You move the chains. You keep the offense on the field. Stuff like that. Take what the defense gives you. But it just looks like he was just trying to do too much at times.
I'll tell you this on that one particular play that you called that you cited, that run play, the traditional camera angle showed that he clearly made a mistake by taking it towards the sideline. But when they had the end zone look, there were a couple of other defenders about 7 yards away from him, so I can see why he made that
closing
decision.
On him,
So he would have had to lower his shoulder to get that first down if he would have followed the block the way it was supposed to be. Now, Steven Zimmerman says that at Arizona, Mitch Trubisky is going to have 400+ yards, 3 touchdowns, 50 yards rushing, and 0 INTs. He may, he says, be overestimating a little bit. Midwest Southpaw says, I feel like we're going to set them up for another Denny Green interview. That would be nice. Who's the coach over at Arizona now? I forgot the new guy that took
Wilkes.
over. Brooks.
Steve Wilkes.
Oh, yeah.
Wilkes. He used to be the Bears defensive back coach when under Lovie Smith.
Oh, that would be great to have him do a little meltdown after the game. That would be really nice.
But getting back to that play real quick, that 3-yard the run again. This is an example of him trying to do too much. Like I think he knew he could get the 3 yards to get a first down, but he wanted to get more. He wanted to go outside and make it instead of a 3-yard gain, he wanted to make it a 10-yard gain. So like just get the 3 yards, get the first down. Don't play, don't try and do too much here, just continue to grow was what I'm looking for Mitch, that third quarter. I mean, the beginning part of that third quarter, I was seeing flashbacks of Green Bay all over again. And then finally that third drive is where you saw, Nagy kind of, alter the play calling. You saw him get into a little bit of rhythm and it cultivated with that, Miller touchdown pass.
One thing that you mentioned the Green Bay game and Mitch's performance there. One thing we have to keep in mind, though, I mean, this is a game at Lambeau Field. It's a national TV game, and the guy is young and he's green and he hasn't had all the starts like you mentioned earlier in the show. So, once you take a little bit more of a macro view about his development, you can kind of understand why he isn't, playing as well as we would like to see him. Now, again, remember I told you, what was it, a week or 2 shows ago maybe, that Patrick Mahomes was my favorite.
I knew you were going to bring Patrick Mahomes into this conversation today.
Well, why shouldn't I? Because I was right. He is the best quarterback that came out of that draft. He's better than Deshaun Watson. He's better than Mitch Trubisky. And he's better than Shane's guy, Deshaun Kaiser, who's already been traded and really should be a third stringer in Green Bay, but the Packers traded Brett Huntley. I was right.
Well,
Patrick Mahomes is a special quarterback.
I don't want you to hurt yourself patting yourself on the back there, but
let's take a step back here.
Let's take a look at Patrick Mahomes here. So, okay, first of all, he's off to a great start. He leads the NFL in touchdown passes, but he's got a shit ton of weapons around him. Right?
I don't want to hear that.
Let me finish. He's got a head coach who's a terrific play caller. Okay, who knows how to get them in the right plays and gets them in position to make, get the ball into the hands of those playmakers. Plus, let's not forget, this is really technically his rookie year because he only played like the last game of the season last year. Wait till these defensive coordinators get tape on Patrick Mahomes, and then they're going to start attacking him. Just like Deshaun Watson tore up the league last year in 7 games. This year, although he's not horrible, but he's also not on the same pace as he was last year. Defensive coordinators, once they see you, they have a good amount of tape on you, they attack you, and they pick your weaknesses, they spot them, and they'll attack. Before we put Patrick Mahomes into Kenton, let's wait and see how he does, in terms of his career. Now, I know for a fact that the Chiefs and the Texans were trying to trade up to draft Trubisky. Okay, so I know. We all say, the Chiefs.
Don't care. My eyes tell me that Patrick Mahomes has a bullet for an arm. So I don't care if they look at the tape and say, let's attack this guy. This guy has steel cast nuts. He's not afraid to make the throws like Mitch Trubisky is afraid, because Trubisky was ruined by Dowell Loggins and John Fox. Protect the ball. But right. Patrick Mahomes didn't. Yeah, you're right that Patrick Mahomes has more weapons and better coaching. But still, the eyeball test tells you the truth. Patrick Mahomes is the best young quarterback out there right now. There's no doubt about it.
It's too early to call. Plus, you just mentioned a key point there. This is Mahomes' second season in this offense. All right, he was tutored by Alex Smith, who knew the offense inside and out. Right, and he had Nagy and he had Andy Reid and so on and so forth there. To allow him to kind of soak this all up. Trubisky was thrown in with Dowell Loggins and Mike Glennon as his better inventor. All right, and they're playing the Madden offense that they were playing last year, whatever that was, with no offensive weapons. So this is literally his first season in this offense, in this huge offense that even the coach Nagy, even Andy Reid, even guys like Brett Favre who've played in his offense in the past have said it takes you multiple seasons to learn to fully grasp this offense. So this is Trubisky's first season in his offense. Mahomes had a whole year, again learning the playbook, sitting behind a veteran like Alex Smith who helped him learn the offense even better. And again, like you said, the coaching, the play calling, the weapons, that's a huge factor. And getting back to real quick to Trubisky and offense, I don't think that's disappointed me the first 2 games. Is it just seems like he has a comfort level right now with Allen Robinson, which is great, right? The Bears paid him, Robinson, that is, number 1 receiver money, but he doesn't spread the ball around to other receivers. Anthony Miller, Taylor Gabriel got a couple passes here and there. I expected Trey Burton to be a bigger part of this offense. I think he only had 4 receptions today, Trey Burton, that is, and one of them was that shovel pass at the goal line for the touchdown. So, I like to see him, get more comfortable in the offense. Obviously, again, this goes back to him being, having better grasp of the offense and going through his progressions to find those other receivers. Because right now it's either Allen Robinson or, Tariq Cohen or possibly Taylor Gabriel. He's not looking at anybody else, right? Kevin White, and you guys are going to knock on Kevin White, but, Kevin White hasn't even seen a pass, So, and Anthony Miller up until today had like 1 or 2, targets. So, again, this just goes back to probably him just getting more comfortable and going through a full field progression, as opposed to just quickly, looking for his main guy, which, right now it appears to be Allen Robinson.
I just want to be on record as saying that I want to do the Hall of Fame introductory speech for Patrick Mahomes. Let's see, in about...
After 2 games.
That'll be, yeah, absolutely. It'll be 20 years from now, so how old will I be? Oh, shit. I'm going to need help up to that podium.
Wow. After 2 games, we're going to put him in the Hall of Fame.
I like what I see of that kid. I love what I saw on his tape. This guy had the worst mechanics in college, and yet he was still making tremendous throws. And
no doubt.
Hold on, Danny. You've had 55 minutes of the 1 hour show to talk. Let me talk. Patrick Mahomes had all of these terrible mechanics in college. Now, after a year of Andy Reid, the good coaching, the studying and so forth, what I've seen after 2 games is those problems with his mechanics are gone. This guy has got better mechanics now than Mitch Trubisky, and he probably always will. Mitch Trubisky, if you look at his college tape, which I looked at every damn play of his season, his season with North Carolina, he was throwing off his back foot back then. And getting away with stuff because he had a nice connection with that small receiver. I forgot his name. But
Ryan Switzer?
Yeah, that's him. So this is going to be a long development period with Mitch Trubisky. There's people in the chat room saying, in 2 or 3 years. Yeah, in 2 or 3 years, right. But in 10 or 15 weeks, we're going to see Patrick Mahomes leading his team into the playoffs. Hey, that's an opinion, but I think it's an opinion that has some value based on the results that we're seeing. The kid is breaking records, NFL records. 10 touchdown passes in 2 weeks. It's never been done before. Never.
Right. And I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying that before we anoint him a Hall of Famer or the next great quarterback, let's just wait and see how it develops. Let's give him a full season as a starter. Let's see how the league reacts to him, how the league attacks him, how does he adjust. So he's not going to be throwing 4 or 5 touchdown passes every week. I guarantee you that. Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
In terms of Mahomes has coming out of college, he had the traits. He had the arm strength, he had the athletic ability, he had the ability to move the pocket, to change his launch pad and throw from different arm angles. No denying the kid has arm talent. He had the best arm in the draft. He might even have the best arm in the league at this moment, But just to, go back to your saying, he had the horrible mechanics, but look at him now, right? So look at the coaching. It took him a year to sit behind a quality veteran starter who helped him out as well. Look at his footwork right now. Yesterday, one of his touchdown passes, because I watched that game against Pittsburgh, and one of his touchdown passes was behind Travis Kelce, right? Kelce had to contour his body and make a terrific catch on the run right in front of the goal line, grabs it, and he falls in for a touchdown. Stuff like that, it goes unnoticed because it's one of his 6 touchdown passes. But stuff like that, you can see where having great weapons, great players around you, can make you look good as well. So again, I'm by no means am I saying Trubisky's a bust or that or Mahomes is not going to be great or whatnot. I'm just saying let's give them time, right? So far, Mahomes, like you said, looks good. His second season in this offense. Trubisky, first season in this offense, new coaching staff. His looks shaky in the pocket, but you can see that talent when he gets out on the run. His ability to elude traffic, to be able to change his throwing platform, and to throw on the accurate line and run also is something that we saw on his college tape. There's some throws in the pocket that when he settles and his footwork is clean and he follows through in his motion, he makes good accurate throws as well. So it's just getting him to that level where he's comfortable and he's consistent, play in and play out. So let's just give them all. And of course, let's not forget about my top-rated quarterback coming into that class was Deshaun Watson. So let's see how all three of these guys play out. But let's not jump to conclusions after 2 weeks.
And by the way, my fourth-rated quarterback that season was Deshaun Watson. Because of the velocity of his throws, which is why he's not playing as well this season, because that's why defensive coordinators are scheming better against Watson, because they know that he cannot zip the ball in there. And so they've altered their defenses to deal with that huge deficiency that he has. And that's why I compared him to Matt Leinart when he came out of college, because Leinart didn't have a fastball either, just like Watson. So the
Watson has a terrific arm. What are you talking about? I mean, it's not the Mahomes.
Terrific
arm. Yeah.
No, he doesn't have.
Yes, sir. He's a very good arm. He has very good arm strength. He can make any throw on the in any NFL throw. He can make it. In terms of now, what they're doing is because I think last year Bill O'Brien did a great job of altering his offense to fit Deshaun Watson's skill set. And what he was doing in Clemson, he kind of did the same thing here. So now defenses have counteracted that and said, all right, you only have DeAndre Hopkins and you have Will Fuller every other game where he runs down runs a 9 route, runs for down the field for a touchdown. Other than that, he's got nothing else around him. And the offensive line it might be one of the worst offensive lines in football, by the way, the Texans. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. But don't and he's coming off an ACL injury as well. So he still had 300 yards and I think multiple touchdown passes each of the last 2 games. So again, it's too early to call one player a bust but if I had to rank them right now, I mean, obviously, like you said, Mahomes and Watson are ahead of Trubisky right now. But again, multiple factors in that, right? We talked about it over and over again. Coaching and weapons and offensive systems and all that stuff. So, but let's not rush to judgment. Let's give all three of these players some time. Let's see who develops.
I still believe that Mitch Trubisky can be an excellent quarterback in this league. It's just going to take a lot of time, and so I hope that this defense remains dominant. I hope that this head coach relies on his running backs more and his running game, because truly, if he implements some of the old school coaching techniques, this team has playoff possibilities. But if he's going to force feed Trubisky into this 21st century offense where it's pass, when he's not ready to, then you're going to be sacrificing games just like you did at Lambeau Field last week, and therefore you're going to sacrifice the opportunity, the chance to be in the playoffs. And so that's my biggest concern after week 2. Let's remember that they beat a Seattle Seahawks team that did not have Bobby Wagner. Let me ask you this, Danny, if Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright and who else? There was another third player who was hurt. If those guys are playing for the Seahawks tonight, do the Bears win?
The Bears win. I think so. I mean, I think they win. I mean, again, it's not like the Bears pounded those guys in terms of the running game and basically bullied them to a victory. I mean, they made some plays in the passing game to go ahead and of course the pick six and the defensive pressure that they put on them. So I think, I mean, obviously they would have made a difference. But I think the Bears could have won. The only thing is with the Seahawks is offensively. I mean, it's pretty much Russell Wilson and nothing else right now. So I know Brandon Marshall had a touchdown the first week, but he's not the same player he was when he was in Chicago. They're relying on a tight end, Will Dissly, who was a defensive lineman in college, who was flipped over to the offensive side, was known predominantly at Washington as a blocking tight end, and now he's had back-to-back big games for him. So that offense is basically Russell Wilson and nothing else. So to answer your question, I think they would have won. Now, to answer your question, we're talking about Trubisky and the quarterbacks. If Mitch Trubisky turns out at his best to be, say, Alex Smith or Kirk Cousins, at his best, right? Mm-hmm. Was that a good pick?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if that's your ceiling, or if that's your floor, right? Alex Smith or Kirk Cousins, I think you have a chance to be a good player.
Yeah. I don't know.
You can win with those players, especially if you have a dominant defense.
Exactly. I mean, if I'm an NFL general manager, I'm always building the team from the offensive and defensive line, and then after that, I'm building the defense. And you can win Super Bowls with a Joe Flacco. Why? We've seen it. We've seen it happen. Defense and
wins championships.
And winning the line of scrimmage wins championships. That's never going to change until they continue to change the rules to the point where football doesn't become football anymore. Lots of great activity in the chat room, and I am sorry that I have not selected some of the great comments here. I am going to end the show by asking our man, Danny Sherman, who is going to be in Arizona next week, what are his overall expectations of what he expects to see at Arizona when the Bears go there next Sunday?
Well, I'm hoping for a win, but let's not underestimate this team. The Cardinals are going to come out. They're 0-2, like I said earlier in the show. They have talent on defense. They have the ability to make things very uncomfortable for Mitch Trubisky. So if some of this pattern continues where he has, quarters or drives here where he looks a little overwhelmed and some of that noise, that crowd noise could affect them. So this is not going to be a gimme. This is not going to be an easy game, in my opinion. The Bears are going to have to go out there and actually win this game. Again, they're going to have to rely on their defense. I hope they rely on the running game, but it doesn't appear that's going to be the case this season. Who knows? Maybe Coach Nagy will surprise us and pound the rock next week. So, but obviously it's a winnable game. It's a game that the Bears probably should win. But if they come up on the short end of the stick, I won't be shocked. I'll be disappointed. But yes, go out there. Let's they're 0-2. Now, if they start Mike Glennon, that's going to be it's going to be Thanksgiving dinner for Khalil Mack and the boys. Going up there and just feasting on Mr. Glennon. So, but I think if they do make a change at quarterback, it's probably going to be the rookie Josh Rosen who's going to get in there. So we'll see what happens there. We'll keep an eye on that situation as that game nears. So short week. So the Bears, will have to get at it, getting prepared for the Cardinals real soon here. So I'm looking forward to being at the game. Hopefully I'll be able to hop on and give you some insight after the game. And if I hadn't had one or two beverages, because this is a non-swearing show, so I can't get on here.
We might have to change that rule. Bobby Phelan, Bobby Bombs, says that you guys should hook up because he's going to be at that Arizona game. So
I will. I'll shoot Bobby a message. Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Hey, I want to thank everybody in the chat room. We had quite the crowded room in there. Lots of great activity, lots of debates, people calling me an idiot and stuff for my opinions. And I don't blame them because I do realize.
Which one? The Mahomes opinion or someone else's opinion?
Well, I don't know. Shane's picking on me again. So. I want to remind people that our schedule is different this week because of the Monday night football game. We are Bears Hour Live now moves to Tuesday night, so Draft Dr. Phil will give his comprehensive look at this game and all things Chicago Bears. That starts tomorrow, Tuesday. If you listen to this on podcast, that starts that night, Tuesday night, at 9 p.m. Central. And then on Wednesday, we've got Buffon 55. On Thursday, we've got Fantasy Football Goon. On Friday, we got the Mike North Advantage. What am I forgetting? We're probably forgetting a bunch of other stuff. But and then on Buffon, I think I mentioned Buffon. It's on Wednesday night. And then on Sundays, the Barflight Tailgate Show, the newest show on the Bears Barroom Radio Network that everybody in the nation is talking about. They're saying, wow, they got these 4, 5, 6 guys on this show. They're all drunk, and they're all talking Chicago Bears football. This is pretty cool. And it is. Those guys bring it every Sunday morning, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Bobby Bombs is the host, and he's got a crew with him of crazy barflies. It's just good fun listening. I love the show. I love getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and handling the controls over to them and just listening in and laughing and listening and learning and stuff. So very cool.
See, you get up at 6 a.m. in the morning. Those guys are coming in at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Exactly. Every single one of those guys is, oh, wow, ESPN is showing highlights of Patrick Mahomes. Oh, my God. So beautiful.
Wait, all right, so which is your biggest man crush? Is it Quentin Nelson or Patrick Mahomes? Pick one.
Patrick Mahomes.
Really?
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Over Quentin Nelson?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. I mean, Shane has taught me that I can find a guard in the second or third round, I mean, you're going to miss more likely finding a guard, but yeah, you're going to find one, you keep trying, you'll find one. But a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, that's a once-in-a-lifetime prodigy, man.
Oh, here we go.
I got to tell Bobby. Bobby says he likes me better when I'm drinking. I have been drinking, Bobby. It's called Adictivo Tequila, Extra Anejo, 100% de agave. I just opened it up when the show started, and boy, am I feeling good. And I'm especially feeling good because the Chicago Bears are 1-1. They are now a playoff contending team, and after they beat Arizona next week, they're really going to be a playoff contending team. So, Danny, any final words before we say goodnight?
No, it's good to get a win. This is an opportunity, this part of the schedule here where the Bears can actually stack some wins together. If they go down to Arizona and get that victory, you have Tampa Bay then coming next. Will you be facing, because that's the first game Jameis Winston is going to be able to be eligible to play. Do they make the switch to Winston? Do they keep, Fitzpatrick in there? So that'll be key. But, the way the Bucs are playing now, that looks like to be a tough matchup as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be curious, will they go with Winston? And will he be rusty? And then can the Bears take advantage of the Bucs and get a win from them as well? Then now you're stacking 3 wins in a row. You're 3-1. You're feeling good. And this is where momentum builds. And then next thing you know, you can just keep going on down the season.
Hey, if I'm the head coach at Tampa Bay, I'm riding Fitzpatrick all the way to the point where he starts losing games for the team.
That might be the case. That could be the case.
Yeah, I mean, this is magic. You got it in a bottle. Use it. Just because you got this high-priced quarterback with a big name, Jameis Winston, forget that. Fitzpatrick is your man. He is playing lights out.
But we all know what Fitzpatrick is, though. He's a career backup. So
absolutely, he's a career backup. But you never know. Rich Gannon was what was he before he won a Super Bowl?
He was a career backup.
Exactly. So it happens. All of a sudden, these guys start taking steroids, or I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, but remember the Jets did the same thing. Jets believed in Fitz magic, as he calls it now.
That was the mistake.
And then what happened?
Well, don't believe in him. Just it has to happen by accident. That's the formula. All right, everybody, listen. Remember, if you drink, please do not drive. Instead, host your own podcast show, and always bear down.